You're watching the Tuesday edition of This Is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. Ladies and gentlemen, a rare contest that's likely to happen in the Parliament since 1976. This is over the Speaker's position, with the Indy now flexing their muscles, NDA hoping that there would be a consensus over the Speaker's post. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we get you that interview with K. Suresh, 8-time parliamentarian from Kerala. Not just that, a story that we have been pursuing relentlessly. VVIP Brat in Pune has now been sent to an observation home. Pune police has completely botched up the investigation. And not just that, also we get you that special report as far as anti-secrecy leaks, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is concerned. All this and much more on this edition of This Is Exclusive. But first, these are the headlines we're tracking at this hour.
अच्छी परंपरा ये रहती कि लोकसभा निर्विरोध एक सर्वसम्मति से अध्यक्ष चुनता, तो लोकसभा की भी मर्यादा अच्छी रहती, सभी पक्ष का उसमें योगदान रहता.
No consensus over Lok Sabha Speaker's post fight between NDA candidate Om Birla and Indi candidate K. Suresh. Indi bloc completely divided over Deputy Speaker post position. Trinamool Congress and NCP go against Congress's conditions. First time since 1976. Election of Speaker to happen, voting to take place around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Super rich Brat to be released from remand home tomorrow, this after he was granted bail by the Bombay High Court. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah meets family of Renukaswamy, assures action against all those involved. After years-long legal turmoil, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to finally set free after reaching a deal with the US authorities. Well, in fact, this is a case, ladies and gentlemen, where the police has completely botched up an investigation, resulting in a situation where killer VVIP Brat has now been sent to an observation home. The reason why we say that there has been a complete botch-up on the part of Pune police. Here is a case where a drunken 17-year-old boy drives a super luxury car and rams into a motorbike, resulting in the death of 2 people. 2 young lives were lost. But what happened thereafter was even more shocking. The Juvenile Justice Board had granted bail, simply stating that the killer VVIP Brat would be writing an essay. And that's it. That's all that was being said by the JJP. Pune police thereafter, rather than conducting a robust investigation, not only carried out an investigation that resulted in blood samples being lost. Questions are now being raised whether at all the Pune police has been completely compromised. Earlier in the day, the Bombay High Court had pulled up the Pune police. And now the VVIP Brat has been sent to an observation home. A question that we have repeatedly been asking of the Pune police: where are the blood samples? And whether at all this is a watertight case that they have been able to come up with. There has never been an answer coming up from the Pune police. And not just that, a political link that had emerged, that was exposed by Republic TV. That link was never probed by the Pune police. Take a look at this detailed report, and on This Is Exclusive, we're also going to be joined in a short while with a family member of the victim.
Weeks after a VVIP Brat mowed down 2 engineers with his Porsche car, and Republic's relentless probe to expose the cover-up and unveil the truth. The Bombay High Court has ordered the release of the juvenile accused who was sozzled when he murdered 2 innocent civilians.
Today we challenge the 3 remands of the Juvenile Justice Board before the High Court. The writ of habeas corpus was filed by the paternal aunt of the child in conflict in law. Section 12 of the particular act was the backbone of the writ, and we argued that be it a bailable offence or a non-bailable offence, the code of CRPC, the Criminal Procedure Code, does not apply to a child in conflict in law. And that's why we released for his immediate release. And today the Honorable High Court has directed for the release. The custody has to be granted to the paternal aunt who is the petitioner in the matter.
As the expected minor accused will release today.
According to the directions of the High Court, yes.
The Bombay High Court's order comes amid nationwide protests.
सुनील टिंगरे को लेकर के सवाल उठाए जा रहे हैं, उसको लेकर के क्या कुछ कहेंगे? सुनील टिंगरे पुलिस स्टेशन में मौजूद थे.
Even Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra Ajit Pawar had confessed that he spoke to the Pune Police Commissioner regarding the murder probe.
पण उद्या पत्रकार म्हणून एखाद्याने माहिती दिली की अजित पवार इथं हे घडलेलं आहे आणि तुम्ही पालकमंत्री असणाऱ्या ठिकाणी घडलेलं आहे, तर आम्हाला ती बातमी आल्यावर आम्ही शहरातलं असेल पुण्याचं तर पुणे आयुक्ताला सांगतो, पिंपरी चिंचवडचं असेल तर पिंपरी चिंचवड आयुक्ताला सांगतो, कारण तेच प्रमुख आहे.
Questions have also been raised on NCP MLA Sunil Tingre's involvement. Speaking to Republic's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami, the Pune Police Commissioner confessed that Ajit Pawar had dialed him. Earlier today, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde met with the family members of the victims and announced rupees 10 lakhs as financial aid. He assured that action would be taken against the juvenile accused even when the HC has ordered his release. All of this comes after the juvenile accused's father Vishal Agarwal was granted bail by the Pune Sessions Court. Big questions loom large. Was the system bribed by the accused's father? On whose instructions were the blood samples tampered with? Will the two victims get justice? Or will power and politics let the juvenile killer go scot-free?
Well, a system that appeared to collude with the VVIP Brat's family members. It all started with the Juvenile Justice Board, who had, within just about 3 hours of the accident, had already granted bail to this VVIP Brat. And the man behind that order was none other than L. Dhanavade. This is the second time that we have confronted L. Dhanavade of the Juvenile Justice Board. And not even once has he responded to the questions that were asked.
Mr. Dhanavade, could you respond to the question? आपने bail legal? Mr. Dhanavade, could you respond to the question? आपने bail legal? Mr. Dhanavade, could you respond to the question? आपने bail legal? Mr. Dhanavade, could you respond to the question? आपने bail legal?
At 3 o'clock in the morning on 19th of May, Anish Awadhia's mother, Savita Awadhia, received a call. And this call came in from Anish's friend. The call was extremely disturbing, something that they had never expected. In fact, the family thought this was a prank. But what resulted was a situation where both the families lost their loved ones. Two bright IT professionals lost their life because of one VVIP super brat. And the entire system colluded to protect this VVIP brat. Joining us on This Is Exclusive tonight is Anish Awadhia's uncle, who's joining us on this broadcast. Akhilesh ji, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए. जिस तरह से हमने ये मुहिम चलाई थी कि ये जो सुपर ब्रैट है जो गाड़ी चला रहा था, जो जिस तरीके से आज हम ये देख रहे हैं कि कोर्ट ने भी एक तरह से रिहाई दे दी, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे इस पूरे मामले को लेकर? क्योंकि इस एक चीज़ तो स्पष्ट होकर निकलता है कि किस तरह से पुणे पुलिस ने इस पूरे जांच को बिगाड़ दिया.
जी सर, ये जो पूरा केस है शुरू से ही बेड ट्रैक हो गया है, ट्रैक से अलग हो गया। 304A का बड़ी मुश्किल से केस बनाती है पुणे पुलिस रात में। उसमें एफआईआर में पहले ये नहीं लिखती थी कि वह कितनी मात्रा में दारू पिया था, जबकि कोई भी एक्सीडेंट होता है कभी भी पुलिस पकड़ती है तुरंत उसका टेस्ट होता है कि दारू पिया था कि नहीं पिया। वहां पर वो किसी प्रकार का टेस्ट नहीं लेती है और ना ही एफआईआर में दर्ज करती है। और बाद में ये चीज आती है कि वहां ब्लड सैंपल बदल दिया जाता है और टेस्ट में उसका निगेटिव आता है जुवेनाइल कोर्ट। फिर यहाँ जुवेनाइल कोर्ट का सिस्टम शुरू होता है। जुवेनाइल कोर्ट में जो धारा लगनी चाहिए थी 304 लगना चाहिए था, क्योंकि पुलिस को तत्काल पता पड़ गया था कि वो दारू पिया था, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस नहीं था, गाड़ी का रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं था। ये रात को ही पुलिस को पता पड़ गया था एक्सीडेंट के तुरंत बाद, बल्कि पुलिस इसको अपनी एफआईआर में दर्ज नहीं करती। इसके बाद जब बेल हो जाती है, मीडिया का दबाव बनता है, तो बेल कैंसिलेशन का वहां आवेदन करती है। इसके बाद 304 जब पुलिस लगाती है तो डायरी में और वहाँ जुवेनाइल कोर्ट में इस बात का आवेदन नहीं प्रस्तुत करती है कि वो 17 साल 7 महीने का था। तो जुवेनाइल एक्ट में धारा 15 का ये है, यदि वो 16 साल से ऊपर है तो उसको बालक न्यायालय में उसको प्रोसीड करना चाहिए, भेजना चाहिए था कि इस प्रकार का ये कार्य था उसका जो लड़के का, कि वो 17 साल 7 महीने का, तो उसको बालक न्यायालय में, सेशन न्यायालय में ट्रायल के लिए उसको जुवेनाइल न्यायालय को भेजना चाहिए था, वहां उसका परीक्षण करना चाहिए था, वहां उसको भेज देना चाहिए था 304 का चार्ज लगा। तो वो जुवेनाइल कोर्ट वहां भी
जो सवाल मैं करना चाह रहा हूँ
जिसका
अखिलेश जी, जो सवाल मैं करना चाह रहा हूँ, आप किसको जिम्मेदार ठहराते हैं? एक तरह पुणे पुलिस कहती है कि उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से छानबीन की और एक वाटर टाइट केस वो कहते बन चुका है, क्या आप मानते हैं?
जी नहीं, यदि ऐसा होता तो आज उसको बेल नहीं मिलती। यदि ये सेशन न्यायालय में चल जाता, जुवेनाइल कोर्ट में तो मामला चलना ही नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि उसकी उम्र जो है 17 साल 7 महीने बताई जाती है। उसको ट्रीटमेंट बालक न्यायालय में होना चाहिए, क्योंकि 16 साल से ऊपर है और उसके कृत्य जो हैं पूरे एडल्ट के हैं, ये बात सिद्ध होती है, उसके हर कृत्यों से सिद्ध होती है। पहले भी स्कूल में उसके इस प्रकार के अपराध आए हैं कि वो पहले भी ऐसे अपराध करता रहा है, इस बात का भी घटनाक्रम आया, तो उसको बालक न्यायालय को उसको सबमिट कर देना चाहिए मुकदमे को। जुवेनाइल कोर्ट में प्रकरण नहीं चलना चाहिए, विचारणा इसका बालक न्यायालय में होना चाहिए, सेशन न्यायालय में। यहाँ पर इतनी गलती हुई है, इसके आधार पर उसको बेल भी मिली है कि वो सेशन न्यायालय में ना हो कि जुवेनाइल में, तो जुवेनाइल में कितने दिन रख सकते हैं आप? ये हाई कोर्ट में ये पुलिस से पूछा, ऐसा मैंने मीडिया में सुना।
जी अखिलेश जी, एक और सवाल बनता है कि अगर आप देखें कि इस वक्त क्या ऑप्शंस हैं, तो पुणे पुलिस अगर चाहे तो बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट की इस ऑर्डर को चैलेंज कर सकती है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। अगर कहीं ना कहीं अगर वो कुछ करना चाहे, कहीं ना कहीं वो अगर इस पूरे मामले को लेकर सीरियस है, तो वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा सकते थे, पर अब तक कोई खबर नहीं आई है कि पुणे पुलिस ये आखिरकार ये डिसीजन लेगी कि नहीं।
पुणे पुलिस को जाना ही चाहिए। जब वो प्रकरण बता रहे हैं कि हमारा प्रकरण इतना मजबूत है और हाई कोर्ट ने गलत आधारों पर उसको ट्रॉमा मान के इस प्रकार की बेल दी है, तो उनकी निर्णय के खिलाफ, बेल के निर्णय के खिलाफ वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाना चाहिए और अपना पक्ष रखना चाहिए कि इस प्रकार की कंडीशन में इसको बेल नहीं दी जानी चाहिए और इसको सेशन न्यायालय में ट्रायल, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अपनी बात पुणे पुलिस को रखना ही चाहिए किसी भी प्रकार से, इसमें देरी नहीं करनी।
क्या आप अखिलेश जी, क्या आप अनीश के परिवार होने के नाते ये मांग करेंगे कि ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे इस पूरे मामले को चैलेंज किया जाए, और पुणे पुलिस से क्या आप मांग करेंगे कि इसको चैलेंज करना बहुत जरूरी है?
जी, मैं आपके द्वारा ही मांग कर रहा हूँ कि पुणे पुलिस को जितनी जल्द हो सके अपने प्रोसिक्यूटरों से इस प्रकार के सलाह लेकर और उसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि यहाँ जो भी आधार उनके द्वारा पेश किए गए वो गलत आधार हैं। जो ट्रामा का आधार बताया जा रहा है वो किसी भी प्रकार से ट्रामा में नहीं था वो लड़का, जिस प्रकार से हाईकोर्ट द्वारा ये बताया गया है कि ट्रामा है, उसको आघात लगा, वो कहीं भी ये उसमें दिखता नहीं है कृत्यों में कि उसको आघात लगा, तो न उसके परिवार को आघात लगा, क्योंकि वो बार बार वो उसका ब्लड सैंपल बदल दिया जाता है, ड्राइवर का बयान बदलवाया जाता है, और भी बहुत सारे होते हैं। सुनील टिंगरे जो वहाँ के विधायक हैं, वो रात को बने रहते हैं और दबाव बनाते हैं पुलिस पर, विभिन्न प्रकार के राजनीतिक दबाव बनाए जाते हैं तो इस केस ये अलग प्रकार का केस है, ये इस प्रकार और दिशा दी जा रही है सुप्रीम कोर्ट को अपने पूरे पक्ष को, मजबूत पक्ष को, डिजिटल जो उनके पास एविडेंस है उस चीजों को रखना चाहिए
जी।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट को, उसको जल्द कंसिडरेशन कराना चाहिए पुणे पुलिस को।
अखिलेश जी, रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। You've had the family members who have met the Chief Minister of Maharashtra demanding speedy action to be taken, and not just that, action should also be taken against those officers who have been completely compromised. Remember, at least 2 of them have been suspended. Shifting focus now to the national capital, where the 18th Lok Sabha is underway. On day 2 of the parliament itself, we've seen the kind of contentious issues that have essentially come up. Since 1976, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the first time that there would be an election for the top post in the parliament. In fact, Indy is now flexing their muscles, saying that they would only withdraw their nomination if the government supports their candidature for the deputy speaker's post, a post that was created only in the year 1991. My colleague Harsha spoke to K. Suresh, who is the Indy candidate for the speaker's position. Remember, it was the same parliamentarian whose name was doing the rounds for the pro tem speaker. Listen in to what K. Suresh had to say.
While we spoke to you yesterday about the pro tem speaker, you said that at that time book was not followed, and today what we are learning is that it's the third time when we will see post-independence that such battle will be fought between opposition and the ruling party. How do you see this? Because you also stated that I waited till 11:50 a.m. for the Rajnath Singh to give his decision, but nothing like that happened. What exactly transpired into your decision?
No, I don't know exact position, but the party leadership asked me to file a nomination for the speaker post. That's why I filed a nomination for the speaker post. I don't know what happened in the discussion with the leaders. That I don't know about details, but the party leadership asked me to file the nomination in 11:45. So 11:50 I went the notice officers, the nomination paper.
One more thing, sir, we saw what yesterday was that Rajnath Singh was given the responsibility of the outreach call. He spoke to Mallikarjun Kharge, he spoke to so many India Alliance leaders, but nothing could come on consensus. And why that happened? Could you explain to our viewers?
So, because the parliament session begins on 24th, so the ruling party is very much aware that after the swearing ceremony of the members, the speaker election will come. So they have to start the discussion with the opposition parties for the consensus. But unfortunately, 24th and 25th, 24th they are not saying anything. Even 23rd and 22nd also they can discuss with our leadership, but they are keeping quiet. Then 24th night only, Rajnath Singh came out and talked to Mallikarjun Kharge. Because 25th is the filing of nomination. 12 o'clock is the last time for 25th. So 24th is and 25th is oath taking, and 26th morning 11 o'clock election will be held. So the government is very much aware the schedule of the speaker election. Before that is government, the Prime Minister or Deputy or leader of Prime Minister, leader of the House, of course, Deputy Leader is Rajnath Singh. Other senior ministers can approach the opposition parties. We are having a speaker election, so we have to unanimously elect the speaker. So at that time, opposition parties also gave our suggestions, but they are not ready to speak before swearing ceremony or when the session will begin. They are not ready. Then yesterday night only, Rajnath Singh contacted Congress. According to my knowledge, Rajnath Singh contacted Mallikarjun Kharge. Kharge agreed. We are ready to support your speaker candidate, but at the same time, you have to follow the convention of the Lok Sabha. Then every Lok Sabha, there is a convention. As the ruling party speaker will be there, then opposition party will be getting deputy speaker. But this time also you follow that convention, then no problem. We will support the speaker candidate from the government side. But it's my knowledge that Rajnath Singh told, okay, I will discuss with the leaders. After that, I'll come back. But he never come back to 10 o'clock today. He promised 10 o'clock today, 10 o'clock he will convey to the details. But 10 o'clock he will never come to...
the opposition or discuss it, yeah.
He never come to here and talk to Karge. Then, 11 o'clock, after 10, 11 we have waited, 11:30 we have waited. But
Then we saw KC Venugopal going in the chamber of Rajnath Singh. DMK leader was also there. They walked out after just 5 minutes.
No, they called Venugopal and Balu. After that they went room of Rajnath Singh. There Amit Shah and Nadda also there in the room. They have discussed and they asked to support the speaker nomination. So at that time, I was not there. It's my information. They asked the leaders of BJP to, what is the deputy speaker post? You have to give assurance. But at the time, they said, no, now speaker election is there. You have to support speaker election. After the speaker election, we can discuss with the deputy speaker. Then that is not a believable commitment.
Well, there has been a section that has been celebrating the tentative release of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. This is the end of a long legal battle for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange as he's about to land in the United States of America as a plea deal has now been struck. Remember, he's going to plead guilty in all likelihood of the 17 counts, at least to one count, resulting in a possibility that Julian Assange could actually go back to Australia. While there is a section who have hailed this plea deal with the Biden administration, there is also another which have once again raised questions about the fact that the WikiLeaks, particularly with regards to Afghanistan, has actually compromised US's national security, and this plea deal doesn't really behove well. Take a look at this report.
After years of legal turmoil, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is returning to Australia after being granted bail by the London High Court. This after he reached a deal with the US authorities and agreed to plead guilty to an Espionage Act charge. He was freed from the UK's high security Belmarsh prison on Monday after being granted bail by the High Court in London. He was later released at Stansted Airport, where he boarded a plane and departed to the UK.
I made submissions. The UK responded in the process to those submissions. Sweden responded to those submissions, formally as a party to the proceedings. They lost. Yes. UK lost. Sweden lost. It lost at the highest level.
Assange was charged of obtaining and disclosing classified US national defense documents. He will appear tomorrow at a court in Saipan in the Mariana Islands, a US-Pacific territory, where he will be sentenced to 62 months, which he already has served in Britain during his extradition trial. The agreement pending judicial approval marks a significant development in a case that has captivated the world's attention. His actions were considered journalistic by some and illegal by others and became a focal point in the clash between free speech and national security. Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong said that Assange's case has dragged on for too long.
I know that there are many around the world and in Australia who have passionately advocated for Mr Assange, and I recognise those parliamentarians who have been part of that advocacy. Last September, the Bring Julian Assange Home parliamentary group co-conveners travelled to Washington and they advocated for the incarceration of Mr Assange to end. That is consistent with the approach, the position that has been articulated by the Albanese government and that we have been very clear on. We have consistently stated that there is nothing to be served by the ongoing incarceration of Mr Julian Assange.
Australian lawmakers are calling it a great day.
Just to start with, what a great day. I didn't think we'd get to this point so quickly. We're always hopeful, but it's just great news today to see those images of Julian getting on the plane, going to an island not many of us have heard of, but I think we're going to hear a lot more of in coming days and weeks, and he'll be looking forward to, at some point soon, being reunited with his wife Stella and his 2 children. So great stuff.
His family is overwhelmed as Assange is all set to return to his home country of Australia after his plea and sentencing.
Yeah, Julian obviously is overwhelmed to be out of prison, and he's been on a plane for a very long time now. He's not quite home back in Australia yet, so he's still got a little bit of a way to go. But yeah, I've been speaking to him this week and just going through all the details with him, and very anxious, very excited, and he's looking forward to spending time with his family and being free, being able to have the sunshine on his face, hear the birds, go for a swim in the ocean back in Australia. So he's very much looking forward to that.
Assange's release signifies the conclusion of an international legal saga that tested boundaries of press freedoms and government secrets.
Well, the 18th session of the Parliament has started on an acrimonious note, with both sides fighting for the coveted position within the Parliament. Questions are now being raised whether at all the NDA will be able to accommodate the demands that have been made by the opposition parties.